I need you to do an appraisal on your last name. I want you to appraise the efforts. I want you to appraise the accomplishments. I want you to appraise the adversity that you got through. I want you to appraise the things that you thought set you back, but it renewed your mental. I want you to appraise the things when you thought they counted you out, but how you bounced back from it. I want you to use all those things as appraisal tools, as calculations, as commas that you add to the value of your last name. When we think about names like Ford and Chanel, Walmart, even Cadillac, Rothschild, Mars, De Beers, we think about names like this, we understand that our last name is not just to identify us. Our last name lets the world know what we left. Our last name lets the world know what's to come. So for each and every one of us, our last name is kind of like our signature on the world's canvas. It lets the world know the Howards was here, the Baileys were here, the Johnsons were here, the Taylors were here. And you have a unique, your activity in the world that's tied to your last name becomes your unique penmanship. And so what I want us to do, what I want us to focus on is, how do we daily take steps to turn our last name into an asset? Now that comes with some adversity. That comes with a fight. So when I think about that, I think about Jacob in the Bible. And Jacob was flawed. Jacob was actually kind of complicated. There was one night in isolation, one night in pain, where Jacob wrestled with God. And most people say he was wrestling for a blessing. I'd like to think that he was wrestling for a new identity. Because along that wrestling match, he got a new name, Israel. Now in that name, he gave birth to something amazing. Because while he wrestled with God, he gave birth to Joseph, who ruled for God. And I want you to know that inside of you, there's a Joseph that's willing to rule over everything that you wrestle for, that will carry your last name further than what you ever could do. But at some point, somebody has to wrestle. Somebody has to be willing to look foolish. Somebody has to be willing to do the thing that no one else in the bloodline is called to do. I often say that if not you, then who? Because when I look at my lineage, when I look at those who came before me, they may not have left me assets, but they left me blueprint and clues to the fight. And if we look at the people before us and we ask ourselves, what have they left us? I'm pretty sure if we look close enough, if we look hard enough, we can find clues on what they fought for. So I want you to think about where you are right now. You are matter-of-factly standing on somebody's shoulders. That's how you get the vision. Somebody told you something as a child that made you want more. Whether it was to push you forward or whether it was to discourage you, you use that as motivation. And that's you standing in the night, isolated, fighting alone, for a name change. A name change. Because adversity is not designed to destroy you. Adversity is designed to shape you, to mold you, to truly show you what you are made of. Turning your last name into an asset will require strength. Turning your last name to an asset will require the ability in you to persevere. Because when I think about turning my last name to an asset, I just don't think about me, I think about who gets to benefit from it. Who gets to say, it's because of my grandfather, it's because of my father, it's because of my uncle, it's because of my great, great, great that I get to do this. When I think about the steps and the things that I'm trying to lay out, when I think about my name being a thread that connects my family to something else, I want to be able to say, I was the last one to get it out the mud. And everybody else was able to get it out the market. So you must be willing to carry your last name, not like a casket, but like a crown. Let's say that again. You must be willing to carry the last name, not like a casket, but like a crown. Because when you carry it like a casket, you carry it with cries. You carry it with a form of sympathy, with a form of letdown. You carry it like it's a burden. And the reason why we carry the last name like a burden is because oftentimes we don't take the time to find the thing in the last name to be proud of. We think about all the traumatic experiences that are associated with the last name. My mama didn't do this for me. My daddy didn't do this for me. My grandmother didn't do this for me. I ain't this. I ain't following that. And that can make the last name heavy. It can make the last name a burden. And so that is important why, it is imperative why we get alone and have that fight. Is why strategically some of us must wrestle. Think about this for a second. How was it that Jacob was the loins that Joseph came from? Jacob also had a brother named Esau. But here's what we do know about Jacob. He was a fighter. He was a thinker. Some say, well, he manipulated his brother out of his birthright. I look at it from another perspective. What if his brother didn't know the importance of his birthright, and Jacob all along was destined for it? Because if we truly know that God doesn't let nothing happen without first overseeing it, then that was all written. Could you be around people that don't know the importance of the thing that they hold? Oh my God. Could you be around people that do not understand the importance of the thing in which they hold? I'm just saying that a lot of times we can look at anything from a bad perspective. And then that allows us to hold the thing that we have like a burden, like a casket, instead of a crown. So tonight, as we get into this episode, I want you to just ask yourself, I want you to tell yourself, I'm carrying my crown. I'm turning my last name into an asset. And I don't even care what is the adversity that I have to overcome. Because my last name will increase in value generation after generation after generation. Every so many years, I want you to do an appraisal on your last name. I need you to do an appraisal on your last name. I want you to appraise the efforts. I want you to appraise the accomplishments. I want you to appraise the adversity that you got through. I want you to appraise the things that you thought set you back, but it renewed your mental. I want you to appraise the things when you thought they counted you out, but how you bounced back from it. I want you to use all those things as appraisal tools, as calculations, as commas that you add to the value of your last name. I want you to be real with yourself. I use my own self. Oftentimes, I praise my last name, right? I look at not just the financial things that I'm doing in life. I often ask myself when I praise my last name, how did I overcome that adversity? How did that situation prepare me for something that I know will come back around in the future? Because the one thing that we know for sure about life is situations love to spin the block. We know that those situations love to spin the block. They take on a new form. They take on a new person. They take on a new language. They take on a new identity. They take on a new house. They take on but we know that that same situation will spin the block. And if we don't get it right, we will repeat the cycle. That devalues the last name. That devalues the last name. So how can I be presented with a situation, and if I get it wrong in the moment, what does it help me? What does it increase in me? What does it develop me to? I want you to think about Jacob. He's wrestling in the middle of the night in pain. Remember, his hip got broke. He started walking with a limp after that, but he got a new identity after that. So the broke hip gave him a new identity so he can handle adversity different. So now when he's in the famine, he ain't panicking. He told his son, hey, go to Egypt. Don't go ask for nothing. I'm going to give you money to buy something. Now, the old Jacob, before he was Israel, probably would have found a way to swindle his way through that situation. He probably would have found a way to talk his way through that situation. But he said, hey, we done collected enough things along the journey. I want you to go to Egypt. Don't fast talk nobody. Don't steal nothing from nobody. We're going to go do business in Egypt. Turn your last name to an asset.